Alright, so I wanted to do a little video, kind of catch up from where I left off last time. I got both of the Spring Relocation kits put in. This is the back. I know that looks tight, but that's only because there's no weight on the axle, because that's the highest it'll ever be, so that's plenty. Got the inserts back here. I don't know if you can see that. It goes right into the frame rail. I know it's kind of dark. The other side is exactly the same way. This whole frame will be machined down and recoated. I'm not going to get super fancy with it. Just going to put some undercoating POR on it, and then I'm going to put some POR high gloss UV protectant paint that's self-leveling over the top of it. And I'll do all this in the same. These are zinc coated. Anyways, so I got those done. So I'm on to the purchase now. So here's the axle. I have it flipped upside down. I have this side left to do, and I've already done this side. So what you want to do is put your purchase. This is one way you can do it. Put your purchase on there, put one on each side, and measure from the outside of this one to the outside of that one. Make sure your springs are centered with the right spacers back in here. If the bushings, need to have a spacer put in there to keep them together, like my glove, then do that. Otherwise, put your purchase, or not otherwise, but just put your purchase on the little knuckle on the spring. Measure from the outside to the outside, and then take your measurement of your axle. So from in here to the other side. And it's kind of hard to get a direct measurement because obviously that's in the way. The pumpkin's in the way. So take that measurement, get as close to it as you can, and then subtract your spring distance from that number, and then divide it by 2. And that'll give you the distance you need to be in from that side on both sides to make it perfectly centered. Now, what I did to make sure that the purchase get put on the equal for both sides is I did this side while maintaining a level perch on this side. So this side is perfectly level. I cut off and redid this one, so this one is perfectly level compared to that side. Well, they're both perfectly level, so I know that this one is in the right spot. So then what I'll do is I'll come over here, put the level on this one. I know that's not necessarily the proper level for that. There's plenty of types of levels you can use. Make sure that this one is level, and then go over here and get this one cut off, and then measure for your new one, and get it put on there. And then to weld onto the axle, this is probably the perch. I'm going to guess it's about 6 or 7 gauge. And the axle is pretty heavy duty itself. So you have to have a pretty substantial home welder to get a sufficient weld or bite on it. If you just have, like I have a home welder, it's a 135, MIG 135 Eastwood, which is not enough. So you got to have a bigger one. Which I'm using one that I am bringing home from work that I can rent, and it's a lot bigger. We'll do a lot thicker metal, and then you just put a bead around the outside like this one I already did, and I just kind of ground it down. I know you don't have to do that, but if you have too much weld on there, it's useless to have extra weld on there, and you want to make sure you get enough bite on it. So I really didn't grind that much off. I just made it smooth, so that when I paint it and go over this with the rust converter and then the plastic coating or undercoating, whatever I decide to do, it's gonna look nice. It's gonna be smooth and uniform. And that's really pretty much it. Thanks for watching.